All right, what is going on, everybody? We have smart money doing some very interesting stuff. We have Bitcoin's price right now. What is it? It's 69,000 once again. As Elon Musk said once at some point in his life, something about the most humorous outcome is normally the one that happens. You can quote me on that. I'm pretty sure that's exactly what he said. But right now, Bitcoin is teetering exactly on the previous all-time highs. And I think it's very important that we hold above it. If we don't, most likely we'll go back down to 60,000 at least, because we're going to be discussing that being a certain point that a certain cohort of people were doing some stuff at. So we're going to talk about that. But of course, guys, we're going to be discussing my trades, what I'm doing, the news, everything that you need to know, all live. So you guys can ask me questions. All I ask in return is that you like the video. That's literally it. Because if you like this video, you push it out to more people, but you also show me that you enjoy me doing it. And that's the most important thing, because I want to be showing up for you guys when most people are leaving, right? So obviously they've come back now that Bitcoin's had a little bounce, but they'll probably be gone again if Bitcoin goes down once again. And I want to keep showing up for you guys as much as I can. Monday, Wednesday, Friday is the plan around this time, so we can be here for New York's market open. We can discuss my thoughts, we can discuss your thoughts, and we can just go through this hellhole together, right? Because right now it's a little bit tough to be a crypto investor. So again, guys, if you can do me a favor, smash that like button. There's over 100 people here with us right now. It will help me out a lot if you like this video. And let's jump straight into it. So first of all, let's just quickly look at the technicals for Bitcoin. I was discussing in earlier today's video what I was seeing, right? So maybe we're seeing the start of another bear flag forming. That's something we always need to consider. So, you know, if it's complete make-believe where this line would be, right? But what we would see is something like this. You can see there's a little bit of a top bit forming there. This is absolutely too early to be drawing that out. But what I'm showing you is, you know, if we saw some price action that was kind of like this, then we could be like, okay, cool. Well, are we going to break it and this time do it wrong, or are we going to do exactly what we did here? And you see, guys, these sorts of very basic strategies, very basic patterns actually do work. But let's quickly, before we jump into the news, I want to point something out to you. And I was actually speaking to someone who's relatively new to trading today. And I was trying to explain to him how, you know, if a lot of people are following a specific trading strategy or a specific pattern that is playing out on the chart, the most likely scenario is it doesn't work out textbook. Because if we take a look at this, right? We can see people were probably saying, okay, definitely a bear flag. It looks very good. Okay. Like, yeah, wherever you want to put this. Okay. Yeah. It's very nice bear flag. What I'll do is I'll wait for the break. Oh, brilliant. It broke. All right. So let me quickly chuck my stop loss here, because if we break here again, well, we're back into the bear flag again, and, you know, it's invalidated. But you can see it actually wicked straight through it up to here, grabbed the liquidity, and then proceeded to go down. But the actual candle bodies stayed exactly in line with the bear flag. So where am I getting with this? What I'm getting at is, if you lose really high leverage, for example, or really tight stop losses where things need to play out perfectly, you're most likely going to get stopped out. You're most likely going to get liquidated. But if your thesis or plan has this manipulation that the big players do all the time, if it has that part of it, then you're more likely to succeed. Of course, doesn't mean anything's guaranteed, and, you know, a lot of people lose in trading, but at least if you're trading with less leverage and you're using that sort of thesis, it can help or improve your chances. So what I'm seeing here is potentially the start of a bear flag. We don't know yet. We'll have to wait patiently to see that. But right now, right, we did have a very violent and relatively good move to the upside. And now Bitcoin is trying to fight to figure out where it wants to go next. Are the bulls going to get in charge again, or are the bears? Now, we do have something that's not playing in our favor. Not playing in our favor at all. This may have got a little bit better than this morning. Yes, it has. But it's not looking good, bruv, right now, all right? Because 5.3 billion short, but 2.8 billion long. So about 50% of the longs against the shorts. But previously, when I opened the trade that I've been sharing with you guys, which has gone down a bit, right? When I opened it, it was like 11 or 12 billion dollars of shorts and under $1 billion worth of longs. So that told me that the vast majority of the traders in this market were betting the price would go down. What do I do in a market environment like that? I do the exact opposite. I bet against the majority because I know that the majority tend to lose. Now, with that in mind, I also understand that it's not always going to be a 100% win rate. I have to be able to sustain the volatility. So I open with 10x leverage and I have an idea in my head as to how much money I'm willing to lose in the trade. So that was the thesis. And then this morning, and I think on Friday, I took profits. So I took about 15% of the profits from this trade when we broke 70. I then took oh no, it was on the way down a little bit. So it must have been 69.5 or so. I took about 15% of the profits. And then this morning, into this morning's video, I took $1,000. So my plan will be to take about $1,000 of profit from this daily. Now, why am I not taking 25%? Why am I not taking 10%? Because right now is a very strange time in the market, right? It's very hard to figure out where we're going to go. Maybe in the short term, we do have another volatile move to the downside. But if my trade can sustain, like say we don't break the previous low of 59.9 or whatever it was, then my trade can stay open, right? Without closing, without hitting stop losses, all of that. So what I want to do is I want to DCA out. So I've decided that I'm going to be taking out about $1,000 a day while we're green, right? And I may use that to DCA back in again, but this will generate cash flow in a very uncertain market environment. And basically what I'm doing is I'm removing emotion from this trade, right? I could say, oh, well, I'll wait until 80,000 and I'll close the whole position. And that might work out better. However, it might only go to 79,000. I might miss out on taking profits. That's my thought process around this right now. And then I also recently did set up some new techniques that I'm testing out. We have some long bots, some short bots, some hedge bots, all right? So I opened a Bitcoin short futures grid here. And what this is basically going to do is as Bitcoin goes up, right, it's going to open short positions. If it goes down, it will close those short positions. I have a long bot as well. So if it goes down, it's going to open positions. If it goes up, it will close those positions. I have similar on XRP. I actually have a long bot on the S&P 500, on the NASDAQ. I have a hedge bot actually going on gold, on Solana, on Bitcoin, and you get silver as well, NASDAQ. You see, you can do a lot of stuff over on Pionex. And why have I done this? Well, this is me trying to figure out a new potential way to make money in this market. Is it guaranteed? Absolutely not. This is just what I'm doing in the market. If you want to check it out, guys, I will leave a affiliate link down there to Pionex. Pionex is literally the leading place to do this, right? I've been watching them for a long time. I've been checking people who have been doing it for a long time. And now I've decided because of the risk to reward right now in the market, the way it looks right now, I think it's a great time for me to test it out, to test out the strategies, to see if I can learn, to see if I can make it work. So you guys might want to check this out because for me personally, right, I'm long here, right? I'm long on Bitcoin right now. So why not open a bot that's short on Bitcoin? So if we go up, it's going to add to the position. I'm going to take profits on the way up from my long. This bot will add to the shorts. And then if we go down, I've got my profits, but I can also get more profits, right? So that's my thought process here. It may or may not work out, but I would suggest at least researching into Pionex here. So I'll leave that affiliate link for you guys to check out if you fancy. Now, remember, I'm going to head over to the comment section to start answering some questions as well. And I want to be here for the New York market open. I know right now Bitcoin's price is going down. And, you know, it's interesting because sometimes when we see Bitcoin's price go down before the market open, it's people preemptively expecting the market to dump. But remember, buy the rumor, sell the news could be at play here. So hey, we'll have to see what happens. I'm not going to try and predict what will happen because we actually just don't know, all right? So make sure that you've liked the video. If you are here, guys, I really appreciate it if you like the video. We got 250 people, but only 45 likes. That means like 1 in 5 people are liking. So smash that like button if you appreciate me showing up when the market isn't looking too hot. And we're going to jump into the news, guys, right now. With that said, here we go. So Binance has bought $299 million worth of Bitcoin for its SAFU fund today. As you can see from the title, smart money is not messing around right now. They now hold 730 million in Bitcoin. And I'm pretty sure they said they want to buy $1 billion. Funnily enough, every single crypto cycle has a new name that gets linked with Satoshi Nakamoto, often driven by speculation around early wallets, code similarities, or cryptic clues. And this is exactly what's happening right now. All right, a different one every single year. And actually, apart from this guy right here, I think the most likely candidate is actually Jack Dorsey, or Jack Dorsey at least knew who Satoshi was, right? It's obviously not this guy, but he knows. I'm pretty sure he knows, right? So right now it's FUD. This is very much FUD around this guy. And guys, do you believe that if this guy was funding the core team, for example, that changes what Bitcoin's tech is? Because if the answer is yes, then don't hold Bitcoin. Right? It's very important that you don't hold an asset that you think could fundamentally change by basically the founder. All right. Maybe he's the founder, maybe he's on the team, maybe he just funded the team. If you think that Bitcoin's tech can be affected by that where we are right now, then you shouldn't be in Bitcoin. I'm not here to tell you that that's definitely not the case and that definitely can't happen. What I am here to say is that I don't think that that's as big a deal as what people are considering right now, considering we can see Bitcoin's code, right? We can see it. We can see what it does. So, like, I'll leave that up to you. It's up to you how you interpret that. Michael Saylor, MicroStrategy, bought $90 million worth of Bitcoin. One of the biggest moves in the market that we saw was MicroStrategy. I don't actually, the ticker's lost me, guys. Where is it? MSTR. I knew that. I knew it was MSTR. Oh, so close. MSTR. Now, one of the biggest moves we saw in the market was actually MSTR, wasn't it? Is this on the daily? What's going on? Oh, we're just in the wrong place. Come on. Well, when was I looking at this before? So we're significantly down, right? But a big old candle on Friday. So we're going to have to see how this opens. But guys, look at this. Look at this. From the highs to the low, or even where we are, 75, 80%. This is a crypto winter for MicroStrategy. Maybe we can discount that and just go on this high right here. We can see down 77%. The actual number that Bitcoin went down in the last bear market. And something to consider, guys, is that what was I going to say? Oh, MicroStrategy went below its NAV in the last bear market. Everyone had the opinion that MicroStrategy was going to blow up, but Michael Saylor was an idiot. He was, whatever the words under the sun that he was called, they thought that, right? And then MicroStrategy came back, and it came back harder, way bigger, way more gains than even Bitcoin, right? So fortune favors the brave. 3,000% since May 22. 3,766%. That's what happened last time. And people said all the same things they're saying now. But I understand that people who were here in the last bull market are mostly not the same as the people who are here in this bull market. So I understand how these things get lost, right? People forget that this sort of thing happens. They think that everything that is happening right now is new. All of the FUD that we're having right now around Bitcoin, all the FUD we're having around crypto, all of this is new. It's exactly the same with different bells and whistles on it. And I've been through it 2018, 2022, and right now 2026. Same, but different. All right. Now, on the bullish side of things, the ISM is about to break out for the first target being 60. For those who don't know, according to Gordon here, this is incredibly bullish. Are you connecting the dots? Now, we got the likes of Tom Lee, who are saying that the ISM is connected to Bitcoin's price rather than the 4-year cycle. Raoul Pal says something similar. A lot of people say a lot of similar things. Now, do we agree? Is one of the questions you got to ask for yourself. Do we agree? Is the 4-year cycle over? Or have we just seen exactly the same thing play out again? People were looking for other hopium, including myself. We were looking for other reasons why the 4-year cycle is not over. But could it be so painfully easy as to just follow the 4-year cycle, to just buy after at least a 50% drawdown for Bitcoin, continue to buy when we're in a bear market for approximately 365 days, and then wait patiently, position yourself, and then take profits near the top of the 4-year cycle, or in and around Q4 of the 4th year of the 4-year cycle? Could it just be that easy? That's my question, because it seems like it could be. right? And I played it very well in the last bear market. Sorry, last bear market into the bull. And I played it very well in this bear market into the bull, but not with my altcoins and not with my Bitcoin, because I didn't sell any Bitcoin and I only sold 25% of some altcoins. But what I did do is I sold my leverage plays of Bitcoin, which is, you know, the way it works, right, is the more bull markets you're in, right, the more money you lose, but actually the more money you make, right? So 2017, we went all the way up, I lost everything. In 2021, we went up, I sold 50%, right? In 2024, 25, I sold 25% of my altcoins. I sold no Bitcoin, but my leverage bets on Bitcoin, whether it was 3x long, 10x long, or all of the leverage plays on the altcoins, or my clean spark position, all of those amounted to more money, USD value, than the 50% of or 60% of my bag that I sold in 2021. And that's the ebbs and the flows of the market, right? Again, it's the same thing, just different bells and whistles on it. And we just go through the process and we learn, we grow, and we adapt. In the 2021 bull market, I didn't use my low leverage strategy. So I missed out on loads of cash flow. I used that in this bull market, right? So that's what's happened. With that said, Bitcoin has never closed both January and February in the red, ever, right? It's done it in green, but never in red. Is this going to be the first one? I feel like stuff like this doesn't really matter, right? It doesn't really matter. There's no guarantee that any one thing is going to happen. But again, the 4-year cycle is the same sort of thing. But alas, the $60,000 price per Bitcoin. Wales bought 40,000 Bitcoin at that or in and around that price. Two major Bitcoin whale groups aggressively bought the dip below 60,000. Addresses holding 1 to 10,000 Bitcoin. This is actually what I was talking about earlier today. Added 22,000 Bitcoin, while addresses holding 10 to 100,000 Bitcoin wallet scooped up 18,000 Bitcoin since Friday. So the whales are buying, right? The whales are buying, but the short-term holders are selling. What does that tell you? I don't know. We also have here Jesus here saying what you went through was the 8th worst Bitcoin crash of all time. And like I referred to being here in 2018, being here in 2021, being here for 24, 25 bull market, this is what crypto is all about right here. All right. The moment that we're in right now for crypto, for Bitcoin, for the price action, the fear, the uncertainty, the doubt. This is what it's all about, guys. Because in the history, of which, by the way, this is only the 8th worst, we can get significantly worse, right? Very normal. Very normal. All right. Bitcoin's been around for what, 13 years, 14 years? And we've had 10 crashes of almost similar magnitude to this, 33 or more %. So I put it to you that if you're in Bitcoin, you should be elated at this moment. In fact, I was watching that Dumb Money show. It's really good, actually. You should watch that. They were talking about Amazon, and I'm very interested to see what Amazon does because Amazon's down a lot, and I might actually buy some Amazon stock. But the way they talk is so interesting because they're essentially like, look, if I'm so bullish on Amazon. If Amazon goes down, it's down 15%. I'm going to buy more. In fact, I'm going to leverage more. I'm going to buy more. I'm going to leverage more. The more it goes down, I'm going to buy more because this is what we've waited for, right? This is the moment that we've all waited for. And if we look at the history of Bitcoin, right, namely there being 7 other events that were significantly worse, all of those events were perfect opportunities to build up the bags. All right? To build up the bags. So again, I'm not telling you to buy here. I'm just telling you what the history tells us. According to Crypto Rover, smart money is buying Bitcoin here. Bitwise CIO says Bitcoin will hit 200,000 because only 5% of global wealth holds it. That means 95% of global wealth doesn't own it yet. $2.5 trillion banking giant predicts that Bitcoin still is going to 198,000 in 2026. And Michael Saylor, as we already spoke about, is buying. BlackRock is buying. And someone's selling 10,000 Bitcoin for over $1 billion. So this all wraps up into what I'm talking about. They bought, where did they buy? Here, 2011. So 14 or 15 years ago, right? Something like that? Yeah. 14 or 15 years ago, they held. And guys, look at the date, 2011. So everyone says, oh, I wish I bought Bitcoin. I wish I bought Bitcoin ages ago. Right, 2011, they might have bought it. They might have bought it right here before a 94%. You can check, but they may or may not. Before a 94% drop. They then rode it all the way up to 1,000. It then dropped from 1,000 to 152. They then rode it all the way up to 19,000. It then went to 3,000. They then rode it up. Oh, I'm saying it in the wrong order, but you get the picture, right? You get the picture. So it's not all sunshines and rainbows. If you bought early, right? I actually often have this conversation as well. I often have this conversation that says, or we talk about it and they're like, oh, I wish I bought Bitcoin on that. I actually think it would be worse, right? I bought Bitcoin in 2017, so not that early. But imagine my dad first showed it to me. I think it was either 2015 or it was $300. That was when I first saw it, $330, right? Exactly. That's the price that Google said it was. And I actually think that I was not in a headspace, a financial position. There wasn't people like me on YouTube talking about it. And imagine the pain. Imagine I bought 10, right? Because I could have probably afforded 10. I had about $10,000 in savings at the time. I could have probably bought 10 at $300, $3,000, right? Imagine I did. Imagine I actually did that. I had the conviction to do that. And we had no YouTubers, nothing, right? No one cares about it. It's nonsense. It's just this thing that gets talked about on forums. And then I took that $3,000 into $10,000, right? So I doubled my net worth. $10,000, $20,000 is so much money. I could buy a car with that. I could put a deposit on a house down because houses were basically free in 2015. But you know what I mean? I most likely would have sold. And then I would have felt like a G for probably a year as the price went down. And now sitting here, I would always think about those 10 Bitcoin. And it would be so painful because all I had to do was hold. So I actually think it's worse off being that early because I never would have held. And that's how I justify, and that's the hopium or the cope that I tell myself every single day. So right now, guys, in the history of Bitcoin, paying attention, not leaving, and in my example, for me, DCAing, is what's worked out perfectly. Now, that might not work for you. It might not work at all from now on, but I'm going to stick to that. I still do the same thing. I talk about it every day because I think it's very important. I want to be talking to the me back in 2018 when I lost all my money. I want to talk to the me back in 2022 when I lost 40% of my money, right? I want to talk to the me right now who so far is down 50% on his Bitcoin holdings. Some of the altcoins are down significantly more. But the reason why I can stay bullish, and it's unfair, it's not fair for the people who got in this bull market. It's not fair, I get it. But every large position in my portfolio, even right now, my spot bag is in profit. Every single one. Ethereum, XRP, Bitcoin, Dogecoin, some exchange tokens. I think that's it. Oh, Solana. All of those are in profit even right now. So it's easy for me to say this. And it's fair enough for you to be like, Connor's a knob. He's in profit. So it's easy for him to sit here. And I get that. But I put it to you that if you do what I did in 2018, if you do what I did in 2022, you too in 2027, 8, 9, I don't know, at some point, can feel the same. Because we'll be crashing from an all-time high. Everyone will call us crazy. Everyone will say this guy's an idiot. And guess what? We've already been there. And we're like, yeah, yap, I'm bored. But then new cohort of people come. I buy the dip. We go up. And guess what? Whether it's leverage, whether it's spot, whether it's a leverage play from a stock, I take profits when those new people come in and they think it's the new world order. We wait and we rinse and we repeat. We rinse and we repeat. We rinse and we repeat. And that's the plan. And even if Bitcoin drops from 68,000 right now to 37,000, which would be the normal pullback for the year-long bear market, I will buy more and I will be here in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. And I believe that when Bitcoin does this and we continue up to this, wherever it is, I will be just like I'm saying here and here. When everyone said there's not going to be another bear market because institutions are here, I'll be saying, guys, there's going to be another bear market. And I'll be taking profits maybe too early, taking profits maybe too early, taking profits maybe too early, and then waiting patiently, and then there's a crash. And you feel like an idiot, feel like an idiot, feel like an idiot, feel like an idiot, and then you feel great. And that's exactly right here for me now. All right, so hopefully that makes sense. And guys, I'm going to be answering questions very soon. We got 540 people watching, but only 100 likes. Come on, let's get to 200 likes, and then I'll answer some questions for you guys before the market open. We have 18 minutes now before the market open, and I'm very interested to see how Amazon does, and also actually BMNR, because I had quite a nice push. How's Amazon doing? I'm hoping that we stay down. Pre-market, oh, pre-market is down. Nice, nice. I've loaded up my brokerages right now because I actually do want to DCA. I don't have any Amazon as an individual stock. I only hold the QQQ. But look at this, guys. Amazon is down from the high to here almost 20%. And that's what I like to buy. I don't like to buy in parabolic moves to the upside. Now, this will be a DCA. This will be slow, controlled, unemotional. But I think Amazon is one of the best companies in the world. And I use it almost every day, which is kind of embarrassing. So I don't know who said it, but someone clever said it, that you should invest into the companies that you actually use, right? And if you look into Amazon's information, it actually does look kind of good. So do what you will with that information. It's up to you. But with that said, guys, below this video, I have a few links. One of them is where I trade futures. If you want to take part in a trading competition, we got a $20,000 USDT exclusive trading competition happening over on BitUnex. So if you're already a trader on BitUnex, you can take part in this, but you need to be under my link. And if you're not already, you can sign up. So that's just for the traders. If you're already a trader, this is an awesome opportunity to generate some more income. Why not, right? I always want to give back to you guys along with the exchanges that I work with. And then the new situation that I've set up. Guys, I'm not here to tell you that this will 100% be profitable. I am using this as a setup, right? But it makes sense to me. I can short, I can long, I can hedge my bets. Short on Bitcoin while I'm long over here, while I'm taking profits and all of that stuff. You see, if I hadn't taken profits already, I'd be like, oh no, I'm so mad because I just lost $10,000. But no, I think I'm pulled out maybe 5 or 6K. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it's fine, guys. This is risk we are willing to take. And if the price goes down to the lows, maybe I'll be able to add that profit back in. Maybe I won't. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. We'll have to see. But I can hedge this long by having a short grid open, which I like the idea of, right? So you guys can mess around with this too. The link down there is in the description. And also Pionex has a pretty sweet bonus right now, 10,000 USDT in rewards. And guys, the reason why I'm doing it on here is before I've set these up, I looked at a bunch of different exchanges. I tried out different grids, and by far, Pionex is the best one. By far. They're miles ahead of everyone else. It's because they've really focused on these grids, right? And setting up this automation. So for me, I think it's awesome to use a bit of AI, to use a bit of automation, to use all of that to our benefit, right? And they got 60 billion in monthly trading volume, which means they have the liquidity you need. They got 5 million users, and they have 6 years that they've been offering this service for. So for me personally, those are the things that I'm looking for. But if you do use the affiliate link below this video, please do your own research. It's up to you, and it's your responsibility. Just because I'm using this doesn't mean you should. But I will leave the links down there in a partnership with Pionex with all the exchanges that I use. I'm fully transparent. And with that said, guys, I'm looking over here, but there's only 167 likes. Come on. Come on. Do me a favor. Get us a little like going. And then we can start yapping to each other. If we can do, all right, if we can get 180 likes in the next minute, I'll start talking. I'll start answering questions. If we can't, I'm going to jump off. So if you haven't like the stream, I'm going to jump off. I'm going to jump off. I'm going to jump off. I'm going to check my phone, and then I'm going to jump off. Oh, you did it. All right, guys, I appreciate it. Let me just quickly check something. All right. I'm gonna post something. I'm gonna post that so I can see it in the chat. So ask all your questions now. If you've already asked, please ask again, just so I can know, because it's hard to like sift through. Which country am I from? I'm from England. I'm not there anymore. because it's a bit crap, isn't it? Do I still copy trade with Quantoshi? No. I think I think it's still open with the investment, but it didn't work. It wasn't working very well at all. It's a shame. It's a shame. It did make a lot of profit at the start, but it didn't work. Again, one of those tests, just like this Pionex grid situation. I need to test things, and the only way to figure things out is by testing. Connor, I didn't particularly like your videos at first, but I do understand where you come from a lot. I think I was being emotional. Self-reflection is also part of trading. That's awesome, man. Nath, I completely appreciate that. Also, I get it in real life. People don't like me at first, so it's totally fine. But yeah, I'm the same. I'm the same. Self-reflection is extremely important. We have to go back and look at the things that we've done and try and learn from them. XRP, what happened? Raphael. Well, Bitcoin went down, so XRP went down. That's basically the situation. Do I think Bitcoin can go to 40K? Yes. I think Bitcoin can go to 30K, 35K, 37K. 37K is actually the exact low that if exactly the same thing played out last bull to bear, that could play out this time, if it's percentage wise that we're looking at. Best meme coin to hold right now. The only meme coin that I really hold right now in a larger sort of position is Dogecoin. I still have dribs and drabs of meme coins that I've been in, that I've traded and all of that. But that's what I'm holding right now. For me, like, yeah, maybe I could catch a meme coin doing 100x, but the chances of that happening are probably 1 in 100. So I'd have to have 100 of them in order to get one, and then I'd probably just end up making no money, right? So yeah. So for the next 3 to 4 years, it will be bear season. No, according to the history of Bitcoin, bear markets, they last 1 year, 365 days. And as we've seen already, right, everything in the 4-year cycle has played out exactly how it always does. So I'll show you. Look, we've got 1 high to 1 low, 366 days. And I always like to talk about the ones that I've been involved in because that's what makes most sense to me. You see the low here, 360 days. So 360 days, 66 days, right? And then we go to the high right there. We pull it. I know it's October, even though, yeah, 364. There you go. Boom. October 26. If history dictates and the same thing happens again, the low will be in October 2026. Is it going to happen? I don't know. But that's why the fact that I do not know is why I DCA instead of lump sum, instead of putting all my money in, instead of being all in. It's nonsense. I DCA because I don't know how low it can go. Would DCAing from now with 3x on Bitcoin going into the bear market could be a good idea? It depends on your positioning. It depends on the size of the trade. It depends on the exchange you trade on. It depends on the fees. It depends on your emotional state. Because when you play, basically, if you buy with leverage, lower leverage is, of course, in my opinion, better to sustain volatility. But you can lose that position. If Bitcoin goes down 33% and you don't DCA enough, you can lose that position. So that's the risk you're taking. However, you can get a lot more access to the upside. So that's what I do, right? I like to leverage. But that money I put in is money I can afford to lose. So that's the most important question. So it could be a good idea if one, your position size is large enough because fees can eat in. If you've got a small position, let's say it's $100 on 3x, the fees could probably eat into that a lot before, right? Maybe it works out if you get low enough, but you gotta factor in fees. Use ChatGPT. Go, like, if you want to use one of the exchanges that I use, the links are below the video for each different thing that I use. We got trading, we got grids, and we also have the free group, the trading group, right? You can get access to all of those using different exchanges. But go in, check the fees, take those fees, put it into ChatGPT, tell it, like, screenshot exactly the fees. Tell it your position size. I don't want to know. I can't give you financial advice based on that. But tell it your position size and then ask, how high would Bitcoin have to go? How long can I hold this position? All of that to make profit. And then you can figure out whether or not it's the right thing for you. My thoughts on Sui right now. I don't hold any spot Sui. I made a lot of money on my leverage trade with Sui. I did it live here on the channel. I think it was about 80 to 6 figures profit, which is awesome. I love that, of course. But I don't hold it currently. I think it's like it's like a risk to reward. It's got higher reward than Solana, but higher risk. So that's how I position it. I'm the way I see the market right now is really I'm going to be doing three main things. One, buying spot Bitcoin. Two, doing leverage trading on Bitcoin. Three, buying Bitcoin and Ethereum leveraged products. Now, when I say a leveraged product, I don't mean an actual leverage like 3x. I mean BMNR for Ethereum, which is essentially a leverage play on Ethereum, right? Because if Ethereum goes up, that's going to go up more, in my opinion. It might not. And then CleanSpark. If Bitcoin goes up, I think CleanSpark's going to go up more. That's what I've seen. So that's my play right now. And it's relatively risky, but it's also lower risk than messing with altcoins. Now, again, as I said earlier in the stream, it's easy for me to say because my altcoins, basically what happened was in the bear market, I said to myself, okay, this time I need to buy as much as I would feel comfortable holding for, let's say, 10 years, right? So I still have that position because I only took 25% of it in the bull 2024, right? So I still have that position right now. And for me to average into my altcoins, those altcoins need to be lower than my average entry because that's how I buy, right? I DCA when the prices go down. Now, that's not to say that's not the same strategy I use for Bitcoin because I want to hold Bitcoin for 10 years. I use altcoins and trading altcoins to generate more cash flow to buy more Bitcoin. That's my plan, right? Bitcoin, stock ETFs, and real estate. That's what I do. That's my long-term plan. So when it comes to I actually completely forgot my trail of thought then. Let me try and find the question. Was it Sui? I just got... If someone can remind me of what on earth I was talking about, then sorry. I was onto something and then it was gone. But anyway, altcoins to buy more Bitcoin. I have no idea. I'm sorry, guys. Do I think Bitcoin go to 40K? Yes. New England Patriots. Is that what this hat is? Because it's funny. I often wear these sorts of hats. I have a bunch of them. And like English people and probably like Irish and Australian, anyone who's not American, right? We buy these hats because we like the colors. And it's funny, I've had people run up to me in different hats and be like, oh, you a fan of X, Y, and Z? And I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about. Because we actually buy it because it's the colors. Like I'm wearing this because my t-shirt's blue. And that might sound crazy to Americans, but I have no idea what team this hat is from. KB69DD, do I view the price action as random noise or was it a mechanical rebalance to aggregate the inefficiencies within the external range? That's an interesting way to put that. I don't think it's random noise at all. I don't know if I think it's what you're saying. I think it's based on manipulation, based on buying and selling, based on market sentiment. How scared the market is why we're down. Do I use Elliott Wave? I don't. I have looked into it before. I have researched it. I've made videos on it. But for me, I don't like to overcomplicate it because my strategy is so simple that it lets me sleep at night. And that strategy is we don't know for sure what's going to happen in the next year. But I do know that I believe in the next 4 years, I'll be higher. It will be higher than we are today. So I just try and make as much money as I can. And I try and DCA that into the assets that I believe in for at least 4 or 5 years. And then for the short-term trading, I mainly use support and resistance, so previous support and resistance. And then I don't know really what you would call it. Not really like, psychology, like market psychology, right? So why did I think to open the trade at 65? Well, the psychology around the $69,000 previous all-time high. It's what we spoke about if you've watched this stream from the start. It's what I started talking about with the bear flag. So at this support, right, people think, okay, well, 69,000 is going to be the support. Now, if lots of people think that, what do? Well, they say, okay, well, I'm going to buy Bitcoin right around that old all-time high. Maybe I'm going to try front run it in case it bounces. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a stop loss at 67K. I'll put a stop loss at 66K. Now, I preempted it, right? At 65K. I thought maybe that could be the low. And it wicked lower. But my point is if enough people do something, most likely the price will move against them, liquidate them, whether it's manipulation or whether it's just normal market mechanics, and then we'll bounce. And that's exactly what we saw here. So what we saw here was, okay, well, 69K is the last ditch support. People have stop losses, liquidations, yada, 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 emotional capitulation. Like they just press the sell button themselves because, oh, we're below the all-time high. We're definitely going into a bear market. It's definitely over. It's definitely whatever. And then guess what? We head into what that's known as like a liquidity zone. We head into that and we bounce. And that's exactly what happened. Right? So because I didn't use too much leverage, because I could sustain the volatility, and actually I DCA'd into the position, which was good because it kept me unliquidated. We're now seeing that profit. So that's what I like to use. And I couple that thought process, support, resistance, basic patterns, flags, pennants, triangles, basic, with this. Bitcoin exchange liquidation map. I am long when this is almost flat. This is like, for example, that position was opened. There was 11 or 12, I think, or 10 or 11 billion worth of accumulative shorts and 1 or less billion of, long, no, shorts, and then 1 or less longs. So that told me a few things. We got this market psychology happening, but we also have the manipulators that are watching. The manipulators like, all right, what's everyone doing? They're all short. All right. You know, and we strike against them when that gets to the max point. So hopefully that makes sense. That's like a strategy that I've built in my, like, you know, it's hard. You can't really put that into an indicator per se, but it's like, that's the sort of strategy that I've built over the sort of last 8 years in this market. Now I'm conscious of the US market opening, because I actually want to nab some of this. I want to nab some of this Amazon. What are we at? 208. Jack Cool Hair, blah, 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 blah. Buy at the very bottom. Do absolutely nada. You will win, period. Forget leverage trading. 95% of people will lose. Facts. You'll get chopped up. Buy, hold, sell. That's it, period. Agree. But you and me can't time the perfect bottom. So that's the only bit that I disagree with you. Risto, I appreciate that. I do try and be as transparent as possible. Isaac, at these prices, I'm currently adding to my long-term bag, 75% Bitcoin, 15% ETH, 10% Sol Sui. I think that's absolutely awesome. I don't know your financial situation, so obviously I'm not giving you personal advice, but I think that's a wonderful portfolio. Yeah, I would that's a portfolio that I would be more than happy to exactly in those percentages for myself DCA in throughout this whole bear market. If it lasts a year, 2 years, I like that. That's very similar to mine, except instead of SUI, I have XRP. But SUI is nice. I like SUI. Is that me? Let's market open. The market's open. All right, let's see. What is... Oh, wait, that's not it. Why did Bitcoin come back up, mate? Amazon. Bosh. Bosh. All right, we're at 205. How could you do that to me? Wait, was it at 208? I think it was. Oh, it's going down. Oh, it's down to... All right, fellas. This is exactly it. We're excited. We've done our research. And I am going to commit to an Amazon buy. My foot... Do I want to do it in a different... Maybe I want to do it in a different account. See, I even have multiple accounts. I have multiple accounts for brokerages as well, because I like crypto just gave me, you know, gives me the heebie-jeebies. So it made me I like to spread risk. All right, we're down 2%, which is nice. I was actually thinking we were going to go significantly higher, and I'm going to buy. Oosh. Wait, let me make sure. Sorry, guys. I know this probably, me making noises probably isn't exactly what you want to be hearing. What price should we buy? 5. Let's aim for 205. Yeah, it's probably going to bounce, isn't it? We'll do that. 205. Bosh. All right. And there we go. I have bought Amazon. Very nice. Amazon is now part of my long-term portfolio. The only stocks that I hold, guys. Very nice. The only stock that I hold. Oh, also, by the way, in that buy, I loaded up my positions, and I only used just then 50% of the money that I loaded up, because if we go lower, I want to buy more. In fact, we're actually a little bit lower than my buy right now, because I want to buy more. So if we now break, let's say 200 again, I'll probably average into that position. And that way, like for example, if it was $1,000 and I put in 205 and then it drops under 2, I then get an average price of 202, for example, 2025, right? So I pull down my price. But my point or my key that I always do is I always put enough in the first buy that if it starts to rally, I'm like, brilliant, I got access to the upside. The most important thing is to never beat yourself up about any choice you make, whether it's taking profits, whether it's buying. You did that based on the knowledge you had at hand and your thought process, your thesis, all of that. Amazon is now down lower, right? It's now 3% down. And you did that. You made a choice based on your research and you have to live with that, right? So that is actually the number one advice I can give to everyone. Make sure your strategy involves thinking about how you mentally, how you are mentally, right? So that's what I do. Everyone's like, Connor, why aren't you shorting in this market? I don't want to. I don't want to because I'm still bullish, right? And that might sound crazy, but like I just don't want to, right? And I might, if I'm not bullish anymore, then I might start shorting, right? But right now I'm like, why would I be bullish? It's like, why would I be bearish right now on Amazon? Like Amazon's a brilliant company and it's down 20% from its high. Why would I be bearish on that? Doesn't make sense, right? Doesn't make sense at all. Look at that. God, it's up so much. Oh, these companies are incredible. All right. With that said, enough yapping. What is Bitcoin doing? Oh, it didn't do as bad a dump as I thought it was going to do. 68.6. Come on, make a decision. What are we going to do? Are we going to puke or are we going to rally? What's the S&P 500 down 0.1, 0.2? Tesla 0.4. So Amazon's actually doing the worst out of those. That's brilliant. I want it to go lower so I can buy more. If I had my financial friend here, he's the one who put me onto this. He's like, Connor, you need to be buying some Amazon. So I started looking into it over the weekend. I was like, well, if it's down on Monday's open, I'm going to buy. And it was. So I did that. All right. Sorry, guys. I didn't mean to yap for so long. Govin Z. Sorry, I don't know how to say your name. Govin? Zachariah. Oh, Govin Zachariah? How old am I? You don't look too young to be that rich. You look too young to be that rich. How young do you think I look? People, yeah. I'm not going to say what people normally say, but how old do you guys think I am? Say in the comment section and I'll let you know who's right. Just for a little engagement bait. We're at 250 likes, guys. 450 people. Do me a favor, smash that like button. I'll stay for a little bit longer. The old missus, the fiance, she's cooking me up some steak right now. And she's calling. She's like, Connor, the steak's ready. So I'm going to have to go. Unless you guys like. And then I'll be like, I can't leave. I've got too many likes. This drop was the first time the price went below the price of the US presidential election. Well, it's not the first time, is it? It's just the first time since we were in bull. So you're under the belief that this is a bear market, like so many others are saying. So I'll tell you what I'm under the belief of. There's two ways to look at this, and there's two things that I always like to say. We have a crypto bear market, which is different to what a normal bear market is. Now, according to stocks and according to the way the markets work, if something goes down 20%, you're in a bear market. So yes, technically we're in a bear market and we've been in a bear market since 100K. However, are we in a crypto winter? Well, I believe that that is yet to be determined. Why is that? Because we know that it's possible that we come down, we travel sideways for a bit. Let's see how long exactly. We travel sideways for a little schmeckle, which is 63 days. Isn't that crazy? This period right here is exactly as long as the time we spent below the previous high. Isn't that crazy? So in the bear market, we went below the previous all-time high and we spent 64 days there. And in the previous bull market, we went down to retest a previous support, retest previous areas of support, and we spent. Isn't that absolute? That blows my mind. That blows my mind. This is a simulation, right? It must be a simulation. So to answer your question, we are in a bear market, but are we in a crypto winter? Crypto winter normally lasts a year of down, and then approximately another year of sideways, boring, people don't care, chop, right? Are we in that? I don't know. I don't know if I'm convinced that we are in that, but we are in a bear market. That's something we have to accept. But I'm buying. I'm long in a bear market, as you can see from here. We got the long position open. So time will tell. By the way, guys, if you are looking for places to trade, just below this video, all of the places I trade and the free group, the free Telegram group is also linked below. Just want to check Amazon. Go down to like 180. Go down to here. Let's go down to 160. Let's absolutely annihilate the market so I can buy more. All right. When I short, I prefer liquidation price to be lower than the level where I couldn't care because my spot holdings would already be deep in profit. Yeah, I love that. That's a great hedge. What do I... Oh, it always jumps so far. What do I think of XCL? I don't know. Don't think anything of it. Again, guys, altcoins right now, I'm not really focused on it. Like altcoins that aren't massive or have ETFs. I've got limit buys every 5K down from 65 to 40K, scaling in. I love that. Look, let me show you the crypto strategy score. I don't know if you're part of it. Would be awesome if you wanted to, but look at this post that I did the other day. I think we were at 70K. Here, look. I'll DCA 65, 60, 55, 50, 45, 40. So I DCA'd. There's 70 DCA. There's here 65, 60. So guys, right now I'm not buying. If we go down to 55, I buy. If we go down to 50, I buy. Simple as that. If you want to see, uh, when I'm doing those, feel free to come and join the Crapto school. I'm so happy with it. I'm so proud of it. If just one of you want to come and join, the link is in the description. Oh, I forgot I was like, what are all these numbers? People telling me how old they think I am. 24, 40, 32, 36, 33, 27, 35, 34, 39, 32, 26, 32, 27. I can tell you the majority are too young. The majority are too young. Tallulah. I did speak about Quantoshi actually in this trade. I reduced it and I'm waiting, but it didn't do very well. It did well at the start. It did well for a few months, and then the algorithm didn't seem to do very well. It didn't play well, right? So again, I did position that as a test. We made some videos about it. I put my own money into it to test, and then when it started to not do so well, I had to pull back. Matt Hansen, thank you very much. 33. 33 is it the closest? Oh no, someone has guessed it. Someone has guessed it. Do I think $80 was a good price for Sol? It could be. It could be. But remember, it was $18 in the last bear market. I think it was actually lower than that, but I was buying it at $18. 69 years old. That's the one. That's actually it. You got it right. Yeah, exactly. So if you bought at 80, $40 would be twice as good. And that is actually, I know that's maybe a joke, but that's actually the mentality you need. Just like if Amazon dropped to $100 now, I wouldn't be like, oh, well, that must mean there's something fundamentally wrong with Amazon. No, I'm still ordering Amazon Prime every day. So I don't think there's anything wrong with it. So that's how I feel about Bitcoin. 300 years old. That is actually close. Last bear market Sol was 8. Yeah, exactly. All right, guys, I am going to jump off. We've been live for about an hour. I'm just going to quickly check. Just going to quickly check. Oh, nice. 69.4. Very nice. The market is liking it. Are we green? Oh, the S&P 500's green. What's old Amazonian pants doing? Amazon. Did we get a good buy? Wait, that's not it. I got very excited then. Uh, Zon. NASDAQ. Oh, there we go. I'm up. Very slightly, but lovely. See, now I'm going to be annoyed because I'm going to be like, I didn't buy enough. But remember, the key, don't beat yourself up. By the way, I am 34 years old. And I want to answer that. Hey, Connor, as an investor into BMNR, what do you think about Tom Lee investing into Mr. Beast and what can it mean for BMNR? Honestly, I think that was a little bit of a left field play, but hey, let's see, right? I'd kind of like the Ethereum play, but that kind of diversifies away from it being only reliant on Ethereum, which is kind of nice. Because I think if Ethereum pumps, like if Ethereum does a 2x, I think BMNR is going to do more than a 2x. And then if it does that, that Beast Industries investment can only help the price, right? If I had a time machine, would I go back and buy up or would I go forward to find out which ones were the winners? Well, I guess I would have to be able to go back again if I knew which one were the winners. So I would go back and buy and then hold, hopefully. All right, guys, just a reminder before I do jump off, if you do want to set yourself up some automated trading, whether it's short, whether it's long, whether it's both, so you have a little hedge, whether it's gold, whether it's silver, whether it's crypto like Bitcoin, or whether it's the NASDAQ. You can do so over on Pionex. I am testing this out myself. Feel free to go and check it out. Hopefully, this will be a nice hedge. For example, my short grid here will be a nice hedge against my long position here. And I'm going to continue to take profits from this long position. So remember, if you do want to be alerted when I next make a trade, because again, I'm a swing trader, so I don't trade all the time. We have the crypto school. The crypto school is linked below this video, so I'd love to have you over there. Just a reminder, or for anyone who's just checking in right now, if we go to the community gains, this is where people in the community post their gains. And you can see I'm long right now, but this is a 38% gain from a short. So I love that people in here are not just doing what I'm doing. They got their own strategies. That's the whole point of the crypto school. You create your own strategy. So you can check that out using the link in the description. And guys, if you want access to traders, I have a completely free Telegram group, which is linked below this video. All of the things that I try and do provide as much value as possible. So you can get all of them below this video. I'll just sign up to everything. But hey, it's up to you. And guys, if you appreciate the video, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button if you want to stay up to date. I will post a video tomorrow morning with everything that's happened in the last 12 hours or whatever